If you've been swimming freestyle for more than 5 minutes and you feel like you're suffocating, I promise you, it is not your fitness. The problem is one thing, and almost everybody gets it backwards. I'm going to show you exactly what it is and then 3 drills on how we can fix this. My name is Aaron. I run Breakthrough Swimming, which is an online coaching platform for swimmers learning how to swim. I also coach at a local swim club here in Kansas City, and I am a triathlete. So I have about 15 years of swimming experience, and now I am giving that back on this platform. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the first thing. All right, so this is what most people get confused. I'm talking with my hands a lot. So the big idea, you're not breathing in, you're breathing out. So what does that really mean? It's kind of hard to understand. This is really tough for new swimmers to understand because as you're swimming, when you get over onto your side and you try and take that breath, a lot of people are trying to breathe in and out in the exact same motion, right? So in that split second that they get to breathe or get their head out of the water, they're trying to breathe all that air out and then all that air back in. But in reality, that's just making you get a shorter breath and making you more out of breath than in breath. By doing it this way, that means that you're holding your breath under the water, which is causing your body to build up this CO2 quickly because as you're moving through the water, your muscles are creating CO2, which is then going to your lungs, which is why your body needs to exhale to then let that air out. But since you're only doing that in one motion, as you breathe to your side, your body's not holding it here and it feels like you're suffocating, right? So one cue that I really want everybody to focus on that they're as they're swimming is humming, right? So that doesn't make any sense, right? I deal with this a lot with little kids. They really struggle to breathe out under the water. They just take all their breath on one side. But you kind of work with them and you tell them it's a hum, right? It's not a it's not a breath like that. It's a hum. So you get in the water, put your face in, you go and it forces bubbles out of your nose, right? And you can kind of control it a little bit more when it's a hum because you can be or you can be and really get that water out. But that's the cue. You really want to understand that you're not blowing air out of your mouth or like that. It's more of a hum and it allows you to control it just a little bit better. Another thing that I see a lot of adults doing, or even just like anyone that I coach, is they're lifting their head up when they breathe instead of really leaning in on their shoulder and breathing to the side like that, right? So when they're lifting their head like this, now their hips are sinking down and they're moving through the water like this. They got that anchor of their feet. But when you're rotating, all you're doing, those hips are staying flat. Sorry, this is probably not a bad angle. But like if this is your head, when you take that breath, if you lift your head, now my arm's pointing down. But if you take that and rotate, those feet stay up, right? So all you're doing is rotating, catching that breath, and then you're right back into it. A lot of that comes from that desperation to just lift your head, get a good breath, and then go back down. But all you're doing is getting out of that streamline that's creating that momentum for you. A drill that I like to do with this is called one cheek wet, one cheek dry. You're basically on your side, and one cheek is in the water, and then the other cheek is dry. So you're in the water, cheeks wet, cheeks dry, and you're just focusing on rotating instead of lifting that head where I guess both cheeks are dry, right? So you want one cheek in the water as you breathe where it's wet, and then one cheek dry. And that can really help you thinking about it like that, where it's like one side's in the water, one side's not. It'll make you stop lifting your head like this and more rotating through that body. I also think thinking about it as like rotating instead of the neck. Like you're not moving the neck. The whole point of swimming is that your head is very stable, right? You're not moving. It's almost like you're moving your shoulders. So as you're coming in for that stroke, you're leaning into it, extending that arm and catching that breath. And then the other arm's coming back over and your head is following that arm all the way back into the water, just like that. So 3 drills that I'm going to give you are the bobbing drill. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to go to kind of the deeper end of the pool. You can even do it in the shallow end, but you're going to go all the way down. You're going to practice humming out of your nose, getting those bubbles. You'll see them when they come out. And you go all the way down and then you'll come back up. You'll take a quick breath in, and then you'll get back in the water and you'll blow all that air back out. And it'll keep doing that over and over and over again, going up and down, trying to just practice that feeling of blowing that air out while you're under the water. Next is the side kick breathing. I kind of talked about this in some of my other videos, kind of like the 616 drill, where you're doing a side kick. So you're laying your ear on your shoulder like this and you're kicking. You'll do like 6 kicks, and then you'll bring that arm back over, take one stroke, and you'll do the same thing on the other side. It's kind of like that cheek wet, cheek dry drill that I talked about earlier, where you're keeping half your face in the water, the other half is breathing, and you're practicing both sides of that. That way you can get that feeling, so that way you can start building that bilateral breathing. The next is what I call the hum and go. It's basically you're swimming at 25 while audibly humming the whole time and your face is in the water. So this just practices like a continuous exhale, right? So you're swimming the whole time, making sure that you're not building up that CO2 and you're controlling that breath. A lot of what I talk about in some of my other videos where I watch people and they swim and I'm kind of critiquing them is that they're not breathing enough, right? It's like running. Like you don't hold your breath every time you run for a mile and then you breathe again, right? That's what people are trying to do with swimming. You want to breathe every time you feel like you need to breathe. It should be kind of like a conversation. You're exhaling, then inhaling, exhaling, then inhaling. And so you want to breathe as often as you can. Otherwise, you build up that CO2. All right, that's going to wrap up today's video. Again, just quick overview of what we talked about. So exhaling in the water, inhaling outside the water. Really focus on blowing those bubbles out your nose by doing the hum method and really working on rotating with the body, all right, the shoulders more so, and not really the neck. You're not lifting your head up You're not turning it to the side either. You're rotating with that whole body, neck and head stay still, and then you bring it back in, right? So just practicing those things, those drills we talked about, I think a lot of people could gain that confidence in the water that they don't feel so much like they're suffocating. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'm more than happy to help answer anything. A quick reminder, I do have my website, breakthroughswimming.com, where I offer virtual coaching as well as a free swim planner and then a workout creator that kind of lets you take whatever maybe somebody assigned you and you can put into it and print it out. Super convenient, makes it so you don't have to remember stuff or write it on a whiteboard. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. Until next time, thank you. Bye.